it's so great for you at your age to be able to have this experience with such high-end products and have an understanding of what they can do. I wish that I had that same opportunity when I was your age. I'm coming at this a lot later than I would have liked to, you know? So you're able to prevent so much from happening, in your health, and I was on a quest for it. I don't know, I guess we're starting now, but I was on a quest for it at your age. So I was on a quest for it at your age, but the information just wasn't out there. It wasn't accessible. And, the internet was like, I'm quite a bit older than you. So like the internet was kind of not a thing when I was your age. And so we were, buying books, go in the library, and it was hard to find good stuff, and then you've got years of trial and error that you do. And literally like that was years of trial and error. And now with the information just so much easier to procure, and people having the opportunity to talk with so many people that have had like these years of experience, learning from them, so much easier than having to read stuff in a book, so you are in a really good spot for being able to move forward in your life as a younger person and not have to experience some of the trial and errors, that my generation has. But I'm thankful, that, finally, I think I've been finding the best stuff, man. I've been finding the best stuff over the last few years. And, I think that's because, when you want to find the best stuff and you just put out that energy, that intention is really what it is, intention to find it. If it's available, you'll find it. And I think that along the way, I found what was available as the best stuff. And it wasn't the best stuff, but it was what was available as the best stuff. And so I was always farther along than, let's say, my peers because of that. So there's that. I've done so many protocols. I've done the protocols that were really, really hard to do, like the master cleanse, like that sucked, the master cleanse, I don't think is very good for you, but stuff like that. I did a lot of water fasting, not as much as Daniel. I heard his experience lately of how much as he's done, like he could add it up in like how many years of his life. I think he fasted, not like that. But I've done, especially in comparison to my peers, I've done a lot of water fasting and a lot of different cleanses. And, I guess, and I've only done the rainbow cleanse so far. So I've done the one, full week. So I don't have a ton of experience yet. But the biggest takeaway was that it was so easy compared to other stuff I've done. And, when people maybe are younger like you, or, just are just coming into, detox and cleansing, and they're looking at the instructions and looking at what they got to do. And they're like, oh my God, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm just thinking to myself, you have no idea. Like, you have no idea what we all had to do to get anywhere, and then afterwards, a lot of times you have to kind of regenerate. You have to get over what you just did to your body. And with the ZenCleanz, with the enzymes, I didn't feel that way. I just felt great afterwards. I felt great during, and that was really nice to not have to suffer. I did not suffer whatsoever. And then of course all of the releases and then all this stuff, it's just like, oh my God, like that is just crazy. So I don't think I'll do another cleanse. I don't think I will do anything else as far as like protocols, maybe some little things here and there, but nothing that is going to go in depth without this ZenCleanz, because I knew about enzymes prior, but I didn't really know. I knew, but I didn't really know. And so moving forward, I can't wait to learn even more. I'm kind of a nerd that way. I love to get just information and just become better at me, just become better at what I do. And so when I first came across the information about the program, and then, just learning a little bit more about the enzymes, it really clicked with me right away. I was like, oh my gosh, totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. So I was bought in right away from the concept level, concept aspect. And I didn't really have to think about it much at all. And so I right away ordered the rainbow because that made the most sense to me. I'm used to fasting, and a week of fasting is really nothing. And you fast, but you don't really fast because you're eating enzymes, and so your body is fine. You're not going through any kind of, not for me. Okay, no, I can't speak for everybody because I know some people have had some detox symptoms, but I really didn't. And so, it was just super easy. And so to answer your question, it doesn't compare. It just doesn't compare. I don't even know how to compare it. It's like, I know I'm getting the best stuff ever. And that was always my quest. I set an intention in my 30s when I was starting to get ill I guess that was the first time, really. I set an intention that I wanted to, at some point in my life, get to the point where, for my own health and for the sake of others, but mostly for myself first, is that I wanted to have access to and be able to afford and have the lifestyle of that I was going to find and do the best stuff as far as any kind of supplementation, any kind of program. Like, that was what I intended for myself. That's what I wanted. And I do. And I do find that. And I still intend that. And I do whatever it takes to do those programs. And I don't even think about it. I set the goal first, and then my brain just figures out how to do it. My brain just figures out where to find it or how to do it or just how to rearrange my life. So that's a really big priority for me. A super top, like one of the top priorities is my health and what I can do. And, I kind of like the biohacking, and I kind of like the programs and the, kind of scheduling things around these things. Like, I kind of find that that's kind of fun. It's kind of like, I don't want to say a hobby. It's certainly not a hobby. I don't mean that, but it's definitely a part of my life that I really enjoy. I just really enjoy it. So every once in a while, I look back on that day, and I remember the day that I intended it. And I said it to my then husband at the time. And I said, I want these certain things. And that was one of the top things. And I look back and I say, damn, girl, you did it. You did it. And so when I come across stuff like the ZenCleanz, the whole paradigm and the idea of the enzymes, and it clicks with me, and I just know intuitively that it's fulfilling that intention that I put so long ago. That, and so let me preface this too by saying that when I had said earlier that I was finding the best stuff available before these things certain things were available, is that was the best stuff I could find. And I was still finding the best stuff I could find that was available, even though it might not have been the best for me, or it might not have, there might have been a little trial and error there. I was still getting the best that there was available. And so, at any rate, my point is that, so when I found the ZenCleanz and the enzymes, and especially after I did the program, and I love how it's packaged. I love how elegant everything is. Like the bottles, I'm like, oh, this is so my jam. I look at this bottle and it's glass and it's beautiful and the labels are nice. And I'm like, this is like so high quality, high class, that it's just, I'm all about it. So I just love it.
Experienced.
That was my moment too. And this, when I had my releases, and, I'd seen pictures before of other people's, releases, and I didn't know. I guess I'm kind of with you. I trust the process. If I have to cognitively be bought in first, I'm not one of those. I don't want to say, how do I say this? I'm real grounded. I need to not necessarily have the science, but I need to have the cognitive understanding of things. I don't just go purely on intuition, or just my higher self might tell me or something like that. But so I was already bought in cognitively. And so I knew I was safe. I didn't have any cause for concern there. And I've done so many things. I'm just like, this is probably the safest thing I've ever done. And so, yeah, when I started releasing, well, so I felt a little bit too good on the first day. I was like, I feel a little bit, a little bit too good. I'm a little worried nothing's happening. And even on the video that I made, I was like, I did kind of a play-by-play video, and I was like, I don't know if anything's happening, and maybe I'm too clean. And I was like, no, that can't be right. And I was texting my sister. She goes, yeah, you're probably too clean. And I said, that is not true. There's no way. There's no way. Because I know there's nothing like these enzymes. So yeah, when I started releasing, I was just like jaw dropped. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to do these again and again until this is not anymore. This is not okay. This is not okay in any way, shape, or form. And so, yeah, and I kind of half expected it, maybe more than half expected it. But until you see it, and the confirmation of it is so good, because you see the confirmation, you're like, okay, just what I thought. And then I felt so much better. I just felt, of course, after that you get the fiber, and the bulking, and you don't feel good for a little while. And I was just getting some grumblies, and it wasn't anything big. I was getting no detox symptoms like headaches, or I wasn't up at night like some people say, anything like that. It was super easy for me, just getting little grumblies. And I'm like, oh yeah, things are moving around in there. Feel some fermentation happening, and I had, and so maybe I should say this too. I have had gut issues most of my adult life. Mostly just slow peristalsis. Like that is my biggest thing. And so that causes problems. That causes some bloating, that causes some gas, and just feeling a fullness. Like you just feel like you can't eat as much as maybe you should, or like eat as much fruit. Or let's say I was a fruitarian for 2 years. Like I've done every single probably diet that is known, but I was fruitarian raw vegan for 2 years, and that was a great experience. And it was, the first year was great. The second year I should have stopped, but so I've done a lot of that cleansing and that stuff, but I've never had releases like this. As much colonics and enemas and coffee enemas and the fruit only fasting and the water fasting. I was in Costa Rica for 3 weeks doing water only. Nothing. I never really got, very little, let's say. So I knew that there had to be some stuff going on in there. And I don't know why a lot of the things that I didn't really do a lot of good. I don't understand that, to be honest with you, because other people, and maybe I was just because I came to the table with more health. I don't know. But yeah, so the gut issues still remains, some. I still have a lot of more cleansing to do, I believe. A lot more kits, to go through. And I'm committed to just doing it. It's raining now. Can you hear the rain? Can you hear? You can? Okay. Hopefully it's really raining hard. Hopefully it's not coming through the mic too much. But yeah, so I don't have a whole lot of, I'm pretty healthy. I'm in my 50s and I'm pretty healthy for my age, and I don't look my age. I don't act my age. I don't move around like my age. So I don't have any big issues at all. It's just a little bit of the gut issues, and I have some structural issues from some accidents, but other than that, I wanted to mention too. So what I'm really excited about is this anti-aging kind of idea. So when I heard about the enzymes, the metabolic enzymes as opposed to the digestive enzymes, I was like, ooh, that makes a lot of sense. And damn, I wish these would have been available years ago, because I'm sure I've burned through a lot of my source enzymes. And so, but moving forward, I'm like, okay, because I'm a health coach too. And a lot of women like to work with me because of the anti-aging. They're like, well, what do you do? And this is a really strong tool that I can put in my arsenal for myself, especially to preserve those source enzymes, so we could kind of save them for anti-aging, for metabolism, instead of the digestion. So I think maybe what saved me up till this time is I've had a pretty good diet. I have been a fruitarian for a while. That's all enzyme rich. I'm not a heavy meat eater or anything like that. So and also some calorie restriction. And I believe, Daniel's been teaching me so much through his videos. He has no idea. and putting these puzzle pieces together, that I've had all these puzzle pieces and now I'm filling in some of the gaps. But I think between the pretty good diet, the amount of calorie restriction, just through fasting and stuff that I've done, it's preserved a lot of my like metabolic enzymes. And so my body isn't worn down. I don't look, like I've been through a lot, in that regard.
In a better world.
I think you said it. And what I do is I start with me, and that's not selfishness. And that's what I teach my clients too. It's not selfish to put yourself first. And so, and you kind of have to be the guinea pig in some ways too. You have to figure things out. You have to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And you have to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself first, you can't emanate any of that out to others and help others. And people are going to be attracted to that love that they see that you have of yourself. You take care of yourself. Like, how does that show? How does that show up for you to love yourself? And if you don't take care of yourself, people are going to know that. And if you do take care of yourself, they're just going to be like, you're doing something, and so, I think that's where it starts. And I really do take good care of myself in every way possible that I can. And I just, if I'm going to be here and I'm going to be on this planet, in this life, like, I want it to be the best that it could possibly be. I don't want to suffer. Dying doesn't scare me, but it's the process up to that is, I am going to make it the best that I possibly can. And so I put myself first. Like, I do a lot for myself. And so it's individualized too. I can't tell someone else how to take care of themselves necessarily, and they have to learn to be intuitive to their own needs, and they know where they're at. And so I'm there to help support that journey. But to have the enzymes, you were talking about coaches earlier, and my thought was, boy, to have that in our arsenal as coaches, because it's exhausting to try to figure out all the tools to have for people. And, back in the day, 10 years ago or so, when I was coaching people, I'm looking at labs, and I'm trying to, I'm looking at, symptoms. And I understood, at that time, you're not treating symptoms. I get that. But still, at the same time, it was a little bit too much of that. And so I do have a natural hygiene background. When I was a fruitarian, it was all about natural hygiene. And so I understand the principles, and even more so now, I know how the body can heal itself. And I know you just have to get out of the way. And it's more important what you don't do necessarily than what you do, because people are trying to throw all these things at themselves, supplements and just stuff. And it's like, just slow down, and it's better if you don't do anything. Sit quietly, take out all the stuff that is harming you, because it is, and see what your body tells you. What is your body communicating to you? What is your body wanting to do? And then you can start adding in the things that make sense once you get in touch with it. And so that's why, when the enzymes came into my life, I just knew right away. I was like, oh, yes, this is the piece I'm looking for. And I was just building, I would say, I was building a new website, but I was with that website building a kind of upgraded brand and how I coach. And I was looking for something exactly like this. I'm like, it's based on detoxification. I need a detox system that works for everybody, that's based on sound principles that just makes sense with the human body. And I was just starting to try to research all of these programs and products. And that's actually how I found the ZenCleanz. And so it simplifies everything, because you got to start with that. I knew I had to start with cleansing, but I didn't know about the products at that time. So I've really recently been brought into this community. And then he's talking about the Telegram threads earlier. Like, that is going to blow up on you. Jessica's going to need some help. You're going to need some more moderators or something, because you're going to get thousands of people on those threads. And I know that, there will be more fact sheets and more protocols that are, going to be more standardized, let's say, so people can follow that will reduce some of the questions, but yeah. So, and maybe to have a group of coaches that are maybe, I just thought of this just now, maybe ZenCleanz approved coaches or something that people can go to get more individualized attention. This is an idea, ones that are affiliates. But yeah, so I think, and I said this on my video, this is exactly what we need. This is the way forward. This is the missing piece for every single person out there, whether you're ill or not. Even if you're not ill, you're ill with everything that's going on in the world today. It doesn't matter your age, especially if you're ill to the point that you've tried a lot of things and you're not being able to function. This is the base layer. And I would tell people even before the ZenCleanz, my clients, I would say what you need to do is you get your baseline nutritional needs set up first. Your minerals, and at the time I was into vitamins, but minerals I still believe are very important. And and not looking at what this herb is going to do for you and what do I take for this. No. What you do is you clean up your life, you get in the nutrition that you need, and then you see what's left. So now with the enzymes, take a step back, even one more step back, and say you cleanse out your body to a great degree first, then see what you're left with. And a lot of those ills and those diseases will naturally fall away because the body knows what it's doing and it's wise. And it takes a lot of the guesswork, all of the guesswork out of it. Right. And so it's so easy that I'm just like, this is kind of going to be too easy. People are going to think that I don't actually have some of the skill sets I have. It's like, no, like I know a lot of the complicated stuff, but I don't need to use anymore. But